webinar in full, and we have started now. The webinars that we always do are open to members and non-members, and we appreciate everybody participating. I do believe that Whitney Longnecker, who is the director of the Study Abroad program, is going to share her screen and start our slides to get us started this evening. We do ask, since you've come in as Jennifer Freeman, that does give you access to be able to speak. So if you would mind muting yourself and then asking your questions in the chat. Whitney does have two ladies from Study Abroad with her that she'll introduce that are going to be checking the questions, and all of us will be manning that. And like I said, Jennifer's working feverishly in the background to get everybody up to speed. So I'm going to let Whitney take it from here. And then when we have a question and answer session, just put them in the chat and any of us will be happy to get back to you.
Thank you very much, and welcome everyone. We are excited to have you with us this evening, and as was just mentioned, thank you all for your patience and your support in working through those technology issues. So as you just heard, my name is Whitney Longnecker. I'm the Director of Study Abroad here at Texas Tech, and we are pleased to partner with the Texas Tech Parents Association to offer this information to you about Study Abroad and how you can support your Red Raider through an international experience. I do have two colleagues who have joined me here today, and they will be able to answer your questions behind the scenes. So to just give a brief introduction, I am joined today by Adriana Ward as well as Bethany Kwiatkowski, who both serve as assistant directors in the Study Abroad office, but you will see them chiming into your questions, which we welcome throughout the presentation. So if you do have questions or things that come up to you as you are hearing the content and learning more about this opportunity for your student, please do feel free to ask that question at that time, and it will be responded to accordingly. If there are general themes in the questions, I'll look to Adriana and Bethany to relay those to me, and I can speak to those in addition to what you'll be able to see and read in response to the questions in written form. So we'll make sure that we have a chance to respond to all of your inquiries throughout our session here today. I do want to point out, you've of course got a picture of me on the slides here, as well as the video that you might be seeing to accompany that. But on the slide, you also have a picture of the whole Study Abroad team here at Texas Tech that is ready at your students' need and request to support them through the Study Abroad process. This picture also includes representatives from Texas Tech's two international campuses, which are located in Spain and Costa Rica. And so we'll talk a little bit about those locations as well today, so that way you have an idea of what some of these experiences really look like for your students. So plowing right ahead, I wanted to start with our focus for today. So within the Study Abroad office, we take a very student-centered approach, and we want students to have ownership of their study abroad experience. There are so many benefits to a study abroad experience, so many skills and opportunities that students gain from having this experience as a college student. And we're going to talk about some of those here on the next couple of slides. But really, in order for students to be able to fully gain all of those skills like independence and responsibility and some of those key life components, we really believe that, number one, a student can get that experience and practice in those skills through a study abroad program, but also in order to fully practice and be able to capture those skills, they have to be in the driver's seat of their experience. And so we appreciate your support and the show of support, even from being here today to learn about this experience. And we want to partner with you in support of your students and really empower them to make the most of their time overseas. What we're going to present here today is going to be general information. So this will give you details about the study abroad process here at Texas Tech, some of those program options. We're going to talk about the ways to pay for a study abroad experience, and then of course answer your questions. But if you are looking for more specific information, we're going to give you some resources, including our website, but also your student is your resource. So as your students begin to explore this opportunity, pick out that perfect study abroad program, they're going to be the person that you should look to gain information about their international opportunities. So let's start off today by talking about why study abroad. So why is this important? Why are we here today presenting you with information about this experience? As I mentioned previously, there are loads of benefits that students receive from participating in a study abroad program. And we really view this as an opportunity for students to go above and beyond in their degree. They're going to be taking classes and having academic experiences related to their major and to their classes here at Texas Tech, but they're also going to be gaining some of those skills that are really important just as a person and for their future career. So things like cultural understanding, independence, responsibility, resilience, those are all skills that students come back to us and say, you know, this is maybe the greatest benefit of study abroad is just feeling comfortable and empowered with these opportunities. We also find that students really receive some true career benefits from participating in a study abroad program. So what we find is that alumni are able to earn an average salary of more than what their peers who do not study abroad receive. We also see that alumni who have participated in study abroad programs are securing jobs more quickly than their peers who did not participate in a study abroad program. And also they are obtaining entrance to their graduate programs at a greater rate than students who do not participate in this experience. So beyond the personal and academic benefits of study abroad, like I mentioned, this truly is a way for students to set themselves apart when it comes to whatever their steps might be after graduation. So we hope that you, as well as your student, will think about this opportunity as a short-term goal that they can achieve, which may help them to obtain whatever their long-term goals are that are related to after they graduate from Texas Tech. Just some quick facts for you to know about the study abroad program here at Texas Tech. We send about 1,000 students abroad every year. We're quite proud of that number, but of course are always looking to grow and increase the number of Red Raiders who are participating in study abroad programs. There's not a maximum to that number, and so we're excited for you to be here today in hopes that that your students will all contribute to this wonderful group of students who are participating in study abroad programs. We do have programs in about 50 different countries, 200 different options of programs to choose from. So there truly is something for everyone. As I mentioned previously, Texas Tech has 2 of our own international campuses, one that is located in Sevilla, Spain, and the second that is located in San Jose, Costa Rica. And so I'll talk a little bit more in depth about those 2 locations so you know what those opportunities look like, and it can serve as an example of what these experiences are like on the ground for students, even in other locations. And then, like I mentioned, we will talk about scholarships and how to pay for a study abroad program. So first of all, we've got to think about, well, who is eligible? We do have a baseline set of eligibility criteria, which you'll find on the slide here. There are a couple of these bullet points that I want to draw your attention to. So the second bullet point says that a student must be a sophomore or above by semesters, not credits. So really what that means is that if you have a student that has just entered Texas Tech as a brand new first-year student, we do ask that they spend that first year on campus just to know what it means to be a Red Raider in Lubbock before we send them overseas. If your Red Raider is a transfer student, then we ask that the transfer students spend 1 semester on campus. So a little bit different of a residency requirement there, depending on how your student entered Texas Tech. So something to be mindful of there. You'll also notice that there are varying GPA requirements depending on the study abroad program, as well as a student's academic department here at Texas Tech. All of the information about specific requirements for certain programs can be found on our website, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. So that would be something that I would encourage you to check out, especially if your student has a GPA that's maybe close to one of these numbers that you find on the slide here, just to make sure that your student is picking a program that they meet those GPA requirements for. Finally, we do ask that students be in good standing with Texas Tech before they study abroad. So no violations in the dorm, no academic probation. They've got to be good when they're here on campus before they participate in a study abroad program. Now, when students, and I think maybe you all as well, envision a study abroad program, what comes to mind might be a scenario where you find students who are studying at a college or university in a different location around the world. And we absolutely have those kinds of opportunities. Those would fall under this Learn Abroad category that you find on your screen. But I do want to point out that we do have other opportunities that are available, especially if students are interested in maybe getting some work experience or getting out into the community, connecting with locals, other students, things of that nature. And so we do, in addition to the opportunity to take classes overseas, we do also offer international internships, as well as research programs, and finally service learning. So what this means is that students are really able to shape this experience to meet their goals. So not only do students get to pick where they want to study abroad and the time of year that works best for them, they can also consider the type of program that they are interested in and will help them to achieve whatever those long-term goals are that they have.
Whitney, I have someone in the chat asking if you can re-show the QR code from the slide.
Yes, where was that?
Should be the very first slide.
For the membership?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay, so this QR code hopefully is the one that you meant. So this is to the Texas Tech Parents Association website. So I'll give you all a second to have a review of that. Okay, so we'll go ahead then. Let me go back here. Okay, so diving back in for the study abroad location. So you might be thinking, okay, well, where do these programs, where are they located in the world? What opportunities are available for my student? So you'll find here a map that displays the countries where these opportunities are available. And you'll see that we have opportunities really all around the world, lots of different locations for students to choose from. Now, as you're looking at this map, you might be thinking, well, I can't really see, like, is this country highlighted? You know, where is this place? And so to get a little bit more information, I will turn your attention to our website, which has more detail that you can review. So the image that you find on the next slide is our program search function on our website. And I'm going to ask Bethany or Adriana to put a link into the chat so that way you can all directly access this particular section of our website. This is what we call the program discovery, and it's where all of our programs are featured. So if you and your student want to start poking around on the Study Abroad website, seeing what opportunities are available, this is the best place to begin. I'm going to show you a couple of different options for you. Thank you, Bethany. Bethany just put the link right into the chat. I'm also going to throw up the QR code here in case that is easier for you to scan, which again will take you to the same section of the website and to the same link that Bethany just put into the chat. So once you get to this particular web page, there are a couple different ways that you can search for that perfect program for your student. So I'm going to direct your attention first to this little filter button that will allow you to pick from a couple of different options for selecting the program. Once you click on that filter button, it brings up those search terms that you can look for. So say, for example, your student is just dying to study abroad in Argentina. So what you could do is click on that little country drop down, select Argentina, and it'll show you all of the programs that Texas Tech has to offer in that particular location. You can also use that field of study. So maybe, for example, you have a biology student and they need to take biology classes when they're studying abroad. So you could select biology in that field of study, and it'll show all of the options that have something to do with biology and have those opportunities available. And this is an opportunity to mix and match as well. The final way that you can search is just by simply typing in a keyword or phrase into that search line, that search bar that you see at the bottom there. So for using the same examples, if you want to see programs in Argentina, you could simply type that into the search function and it'll show you the opportunities that way as well. So what I always encourage students to do is to spend a little time on this website, just play around, use this as a study break and a chance to kind of daydream, think about what these opportunities could look like, where students can go, what they can do, and hopefully by playing around on this website and seeing the many opportunities that Texas Tech provides, this encourages students to continue pursuing this particular opportunity. Now, after students find that perfect study abroad program, they will also start their application using this very same website. So I've given you an example here of where you can see there's this very easy button to click that says start application. Students would literally just click that, and that's how they begin the application process. The application is totally online, and we always encourage students to be mindful of the application deadlines. So the QR code that you see on your screen here will take you to our webpage that lists all of the upcoming application deadlines that students need to be aware of. We do have applications currently open for summer and fall. So if your student is interested in taking part in a study abroad program as quickly as they can, their first opportunity to do so will be this coming summer. And those applications are due February 20th, so about a month from now. Applications for the fall semester are not due until March, so students have a little bit of time to work on those applications if that's the term that they are most interested in. Now, when to study abroad is a question that we receive frequently from students and families, and really it's up to the student. We do have an encouragement that students always plan ahead and begin planning to study abroad, ideally during their first year as a Red Raider. Earlier is often better to participate in a study abroad program just because it gives students more options to choose from. If a student does choose to study abroad a little bit later in their time as a Red Raider, that's okay. But there are some additional approval steps. For example, you can see in this last bullet point here, it says that there is an additional approval needed by the dean of your student's college should they choose to study abroad during the last 30 hours of their time here at Texas Tech. So this is all something that we discuss with students as part of their advising appointments that they complete for the study abroad application process. We always encourage students to talk with their academic advisors about study abroad as well. Academic advisors know students' degree plans inside and out, and so they are really key in helping students to identify the perfect semester or summer for them to participate in a study abroad program. So that is the best place for students to start the conversation as it relates to study abroad. So that way they can make sure that they're timing this experience in the best way possible for their degree here at Texas Tech. Now, I mentioned that we would talk a little bit about Texas Tech's 2 international campuses, and so we'll start with the Sevilla Center. So the Sevilla Center is located in Sevilla, Spain. It's in the southern part of the country, and Texas Tech has had a location in Sevilla for over 20 years. In fact, we're moving very quickly towards the 25th anniversary. So we have a long history of supporting Red Raiders in southern Spain, and since the doors have opened, in 2001, over 5,000 students have studied at the center for their study abroad experience. We do have semester and summer programs available, so I'll talk about those on the next slide. But just to kind of give you an overview of what this experience looks like, the students are completing coursework, and we also provide excursions to introduce students to the location and give them a chance to explore southern Spain. In this particular program, students utilize homestay families as their housing option. And the homestay families come with full board, so all 3 meals a day are provided. Many of the homestay families have been with Texas Tech since the center opened, so they are very used to having Red Raiders in their homes and love introducing Sevilla to our students. And then the folks that you see on the slide here are the full-time Texas Tech staff members who work and teach at the center in Sevilla. So these are the individuals that will be welcoming your students to Spain and supporting them throughout their time abroad on this particular program. Now, as you heard, we have semester as well as summer programs at our location in Sevilla. The semester programs offer Spanish language courses, including an opportunity to fast track to a Spanish minor. We do also offer architecture courses, and we have a pre-health program that offers medical shadowing. This is an opportunity for students who are interested in the healthcare field to obtain observation hours. They would be shadowing doctors, nurses, and other healthcare practitioners in Spain, and they can add those observation hours to their professional school applications. The summer programs have all of those different disciplines that I just mentioned and many more. So this is where there really is quite an opportunity for a lot of different classes to be available to your students. And you'll see here just the variety of different academic areas that are represented in the summer in Sevilla. In addition to our campus in Sevilla, Texas Tech also has a location in Costa Rica, so in San Jose, Costa Rica. This location is a little bit newer. It's been in operation for, I guess, about 8 years now, and really is Texas Tech's home in Latin America. There are 3 different academic disciplines that are offered in this particular location. We have business courses as well as engineering and core classes. So those kind of gen ed classes that all Texas Tech students need to take for their degree. Those classes are offered at our campus in Costa Rica. And this programming is available for the semester and the summer. The campus in Costa Rica also offers summer internships. So if students are interested in getting a little work experience in combination with their international experience, then this is a great way to marry both of those interests. And like the campus in Sevilla, the folks in Costa Rica also offer excursions, housing, and other support services to make sure that students are successful and know where to turn should they have questions or concerns while they are studying abroad. Okay, so transitioning to our next topic of finances. So this is a question that we receive all the time is, how do I pay for a study abroad program? Is this going to be expensive? And I'm here to tell you that study abroad doesn't cost as much as you think. We actually have some study abroad programs that are less expensive than studying in Lubbock. So if cost is a concern for you and your student, we just encourage your student to be forthcoming with that information as they begin communicating with my team and I, because if we know right away that cost is one of the primary concerns for students, we can help to direct them to programs that are more affordable. You can also scan the QR code that is on this particular slide, because it'll take you to a section of our website that focuses on costs and how to pay for a study abroad experience. But just to give you a couple quick things when it comes to payment. So first of all, if your student receives financial aid or scholarships to be a student here in Lubbock, that same funding will travel abroad and help to pay for a study abroad experience. So the same money that your student is using to pay for their studies here in Lubbock can travel with them and help to pay for the study abroad experience as well. There are also scholarships that are just for study abroad. So there are several that are available through the study abroad office. There's also scholarships available through different colleges and departments around campus. And then we also have resources on our website to scholarships and different funding opportunities beyond Texas Tech. So things that are program specific or even national scholarships that students can apply for and that Red Raiders receive on the regular. The timing of this webinar corresponds with a scholarship application deadline that is coming up next week. So the Study Abroad Competitive Scholarship is one of the big scholarships that Texas Tech offers to our students who are interested in international opportunities. And that deadline is next week. So I'll ask Adriana or Bethany, if you've not already, put a link to the Study Abroad Competitive Scholarship in the chat. Please go ahead and do so. I see that has come into the chat, so thank you. That is one that all students should definitely apply for, and is a fund that is available just to Texas Tech students. So something kind of unique that is a no-brainer that students have to put an application in for, if nothing else. Okay, so to close the formal presentation for today, we wanted to also leave you with some resources that you can utilize as you continue to support your student through the study abroad process. So the QR code that you find on the slide here will take you to the parent and family section of our website, which has more information. It has links to different sections of our website that you might be interested in, and goes a little bit more in depth about how you can support your student through this process. We do want to make sure that you're all aware that FERPA does apply to study abroad. So this is a concept or a term that you might be familiar with in general, because it allows students to identify whom in their life they would like their educational records to be shared with. So study abroad applies for that, of course, because this is an educational experience. And so we wanted to mention that here because we will respect your students' wishes when it comes to who they would like to share their academic information with, including their study abroad intentions. So if that is not a conversation that you have had with your student yet about FERPA and their requests, we would definitely encourage you to do so, just to make sure that there's an understanding within your family as far as who will receive what information. We do also want to be mindful of the fact that not only does FERPA apply to these conversations, but again, we really want to empower your student to take ownership and leadership of this experience. And so we do from time to time get meeting requests from parents and loved ones of students. And we're happy to speak with you, but we do want to make sure that your student is involved in that conversation. So if you do have a request to give us a call or to have a meeting with us, we'd be happy to support that, but we do want to make sure that your student is available and can actively participate in that conversation as well. And that's really, I think, where we'll leave the session today, is about finding balance. So again, we really want to make sure that your student is in the driver's seat here, and we look to your partnership to empower students and to encourage them throughout the study abroad process. I leave you with a few quotes here, that things that we've heard over the years from family members and parents who are supporting students. And I think this is why I say that balance is so important. I think your support is necessary and so helpful in supporting your student as they participate in a study abroad program. But we want to make sure to keep the student in mind, so that way they can receive the full benefits of this experience. And so with that, I'll put our contact information up here. You're welcome to continue to check out our website. Lots of good information and resources there. But also our social media is a really great place to learn more about study abroad, follow along with fellow Red Raiders, other students who are participating in this experience, and continue to learn about this opportunity. So we are at the point of our session here today where we have the opportunity for questions. I've been seeing in the corner of my eye that the chat has been very active, which I appreciate. And so I'm hopeful that you've had an opportunity to ask your questions there, but I am going to take a breath for a drink, and I'll see if there are any kind of common themes that would be helpful for me to speak to, or any questions that we would like to answer verbally. So if there's anything that might be useful for the good of the group, I'll ask Bethany or Adriana to chime in with those questions, and I'm happy to respond to them.
So one of the questions that came into the question and answer chat was, how is healthcare or insurance covered or addressed? And I can chat about that. So we enroll all of our students in a health insurance company called On Call International. And this has actually been called the Cadillac of study abroad insurances. It covers everything from luggage support if their students lost luggage, or mental health support if they feel like they need to talk to a counselor, to medications for a cold or something of that nature. I will give a real life example of a situation that happened a few years ago. We had a student go abroad who had underlying health issues that didn't really become prevalent until the student went abroad. And the student required emergency surgery when they got abroad. And the health insurance paid for the surgery outright, but also paid for a family member to come from Texas to their location, stay with the student, and then come back to Texas at no additional cost. It is $2.57 a day for the length of the program, and that is included on the student's budget. So you can see that on the budgets and the cost sheets on the program pages. And that is not something that we will get rid of. That even if your student is covered in your health insurance and the university's health insurance, we're still going to put them in that insurance. They can be triply protected while they're abroad. And so it's a great insurance. We do have the insurance page on our website. I can put it in the chat in a second as well.
Thank you. I do see a question here about taking online classes in addition to classes associated with a study abroad program. So I can answer that one verbally. So this is something that we do not recommend. And the reason for that is that the study abroad programs are often quite intensive, and I think students sometimes underestimate the amount of time that their classes internationally on the study abroad program will take. And therefore are not able to contribute the amount of time to their online classes that they might have initially intended. In addition, I think students, we want students to really be able to take advantage of the location that they are studying abroad in. So, if they're studying at our location in Sevilla in Spain, we want them to see Sevilla. We want them to go check out the museums and, do some traveling around the country and be able to take in this experience fully. And oftentimes if students are also enrolled in online classes or classes that are not directly associated with the study abroad program, they may feel conflicted about where they should be spending their time. So that would be our best advice when it comes to online classes. Now for the summer term, the study abroad programs are often about 4 weeks long for a summer. So what that means is that your student could be enrolled in a study abroad program, say for summer 1, and then come back home and participate in an online course for summer 2. So there are some ways that those course needs can still be fulfilled, even outside of the study abroad program. So just something to be mindful of that. I see a question about how long it takes for students to learn if they are accepted. So this is something that we are checking every day. We want students to move through the process as quickly as we can. And so as soon as students have completed their application and we have completed the eligibility checks on our side of things, assuming everything checks out, then we're gonna get that student as accepted as quickly as possible. I will say that for some of our faculty-led programs, or really for all of our faculty-led programs, the faculty have the final say in which students are selected for the program. So that's something to be aware of, that if your student is participating in a faculty-led program, they really should be networking with that professor to make sure that the professor knows who they are and they have a chance to introduce themselves and get to know each other as they're applying for their study abroad program.
Hi, Whitney. We had a good question in the chat for you. What are the security measures taken for the students?
Sure. So this is actually a big part of my position as the director of our study abroad programs here at Texas Tech. So I'm the person that kind of wears that risk management and emergency response hat for the university on behalf of our study abroad programs. And it is something that the university does take quite seriously. So we are constantly monitoring and reviewing what's happening around the world, staying up to date on current events, developing, geopolitical situations, things of that nature, to make sure that we continually feel comfortable about the locations and the programs that we are sending students to and that we have students participating on. We are not afraid to make tough decisions, even if it means ending a program early, bringing students back home, things of that nature. Those are all actions that the university has taken and will continue to take should a situation warrant that kind of decision. Now, the insurance policy that Bethany was describing previously provides more than just health-related benefits. So in addition to the health benefits, it does also support evacuation should that be warranted, depending on the situation, as well as repatriation from that particular location. So it is quite a robust policy, and we do lean on our insurance provider to support the decisions that the university makes on behalf of our students and the response. We do have 24/7 support that is offered and available to students. So should they find themselves in a tricky situation while they're overseas and they need support, they can always connect with us back here in Lubbock. We have a process set up for that we talk to students about as part of the pre-departure orientation process. So that way students know how to connect with us if they get up to a bit of trouble or something like this, have a difficult time overseas, they know how to connect back with us. And of course, we always encourage them to connect with the folks on the ground as well, to receive support that way. So hopefully that provides a little bit of context on that particular topic. And then I'm happy to answer any other questions related to it. But bottom line, we're here to support not just the academic experience of students on our study abroad programs, but we also want to make sure that they stay healthy and safe as they're overseas.
We have a question in the question and answer, and it asks, how soon can we book travel? Something to note is if your student has been accepted, that does not give them automatically the go-ahead to book a flight. We want to make sure that they have been given the green light to book a flight, and that will usually happen either from the faculty or from their program directly. So if you have a student going abroad this summer, I would make sure that that student has gotten that green light from their program specifically or their faculty. Chances are they have not gotten that green light yet, unless it's a unique Maymester program. So I would wait. Probably the earliest you could do that would be end of February, mid-March, depending on the program.
Mm-hmm.
Another question that came in that would honestly take a little too long to type was for Rick Irvine. So you asked about the audit for students within the last 2 semesters. So the reason we don't allow a student to go abroad in their last semester, or we need the dean's approval in their last 2 semesters, is because in your last 2 semesters as a student at Tech, the college is doing what's called an audit, and the student generally doesn't know about this audit. It's just something that the college does to make sure the student is in good standing and meeting all of the requirements to graduate. And when a student is abroad, we want to make sure that audit office knows that they're abroad, because sometimes the classes can look a little weird on their degree plan and their registration while they're abroad, because we put them in a placeholder course while they're abroad. So that is really the main reason we don't want to surprise the dean's office, basically. So we want to make sure the dean's office is on board with the student to study abroad, and that's why we require some sort of approval. Now, if they are going on a faculty-led program or one of our Texas Tech programs, either campus in Seville or campus in Costa Rica, they don't generally need that approval. But if they're doing another program, their study abroad advisor or program manager will walk them through that process.
I do see that we have a follow-up question about free weekends and free time. So just like when your student is studying here in Lubbock or at another Texas Tech campus around the state, the time that a student is not in class is their time to spend how they wish. And the same thing is true on a study abroad program. So many of our students do take advantage of that free time to do traveling on the weekends, to go visit other parts of the country or the region that they may be studying in. There was a question about, roll call and how do we essentially keep track of these students. And yes, that is part of the process and primarily done as part of the courses that your students are taking. So the classes that are offered and available on study abroad programs are often smaller than the classes that students are enrolled in here on campus. So we don't have those types of classes where it's a huge lecture hall of, 500-600 students. They're much smaller and much more intimate. So the faculty are going to notice very quickly if your student is not showing up to class and is going to get in touch with the local folks there or come back to our office here in Lubbock to seek support. We do also have mechanisms within our kind of risk management resources that we have available here where we can reach out to students through our insurance provider if we haven't heard from them for a while, or if we fear that something's going on and we want to connect with them. So that's another avenue that we have if we need to get a hold of one of our students that's overseas. It seems like the questions have maybe slowed down a little bit. So I will say that if there are any questions that have not been asked or things that you are thinking about, now is the time to pop those into the chat and we can make sure that we get all of those answered today.
While everybody's waiting to see if they have something they're typing into the chat, I once again want to apologize for the technology glitch with the password. And I will reiterate that this has been recorded. We do plan on putting the recording up on our website and also sending it out in our newsletter. We can also send it out in a broad-based email. So I do apologize for that, but it is recorded. So at the end of this, we will determine how we're going to get that out most effectively.
I see we have a question about internships abroad. Yes, that is a type of study abroad program that we support. So we do have connections with companies, nonprofits, other organizations all around the world that allow our students to intern in those organizations. And it's all facilitated through the study abroad office. So we don't expect students to be, searching the job boards of Dublin, Ireland, or whatever the location might be to help secure an internship. That's something that we can support the student through that process. So the internships, students primarily take advantage of them during the summer, but we do also have semester-long internships as well if students are looking for a little bit longer experience or maybe more hours to contribute to that opportunity. But yes, that is an option that is available to Texas Tech students.
There's a question about credit hours and also scholarships. And so I think I'm just going to tie those together. So one of the questions was, let me find it. Will my student be eligible for scholarships with summer programs? So the summer programs, if you are getting any sort of scholarships, they do have to be earning 6 credit hours total. There's one program in the question that Danielle, I messaged you. You should send me an email and we can talk about it. More of a lengthy conversation. But students really need to be earning 6 credit hours for the whole summer to be eligible for financial aid. If they are doing a study abroad program, they can always make sure they're earning 6 hours. If they're doing an internship, Rick, you asked about scholarships for internships. If they're earning scholarships if they're earning credits to be full-time for the internships and study abroad, then yes, they can use those scholarships. So a student who's doing an internship over the summer can choose to enroll in 6 hours of internship credit that we will help them with. And that will give them that full-time portion in the summer. Now for the semester, it's 12 hours for undergraduate students, 9 hours for graduate students. Hazelwood usually only covers the tuition, but if you have any questions about that specifically, you can definitely contact the Military and Veteran Programs Office, as they know the Hazelwood like the back of their hand. They can talk about how that impacts a study abroad experience. And how many credit are available through internships? It really depends. So we have some internships that have no credit hours, and we have some internships that have up to 9 credit hours. And most of them will be pretty lenient on what they let the student do. So I have a student, for example, abroad right now doing an internship for the spring for 9 hours. For the summer, generally the average for students is going to be 6 hours. Let's see. I think someone is asking for if they're going to be sending out the recording link later.
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
That will be sent. Yes.
Yes, we will be sending out the recording link. It will also be posted on the main page of the Texas Tech Parents Association website.
Very good. Thank you. There's a couple of questions that I'll answer quickly as we wrap up our session here today. So Texas Tech has 2 of our own international locations in Spain and Costa Rica, but those are not the only options available to students. We know that not everybody is interested in Spain, not everybody is interested in Costa Rica, and they may want to choose a different location. And so for that reason, we partner with colleges and universities all around the world to expand the opportunities that are available to students. So when it's all said and done, we have programs in about 50 different countries. I saw that your student was interested in Italy, and that is definitely a very popular location. We have many options to choose from in that particular location. Well, it looks like the questions are kind of slowing down. And so because of that, I think we may need to close up our webinar here today. I really appreciate you all being here today. It is so exciting for us to see so many folks interested in this experience and wanting to support their Red Raiders through this opportunity. So thank you for taking some time to learn more about this experience and the great opportunities that are available to your students. And we look forward to continuing to partner with you in support of your student and their study abroad experience. You've got our contact information here. Please feel free to reach out to us. We know that the questions and conversations, they don't have to end today. And so we do look forward to working with your students and to supporting them throughout the process here. I'm going to also share the last slide, which again has more information about the Texas Tech Parents Association. And thank you once again for giving us this platform to share information to our parents and our families and other supporters of our students here at Texas Tech.
We really appreciate being able to partner with Study Abroad. And as we said, this link for the recording will be up on our website tomorrow, and then we will get the link out for the email where you can go to that along with anyone who was unable to make it in attendance. And I will make sure that that link is also posted on social media for anyone that wants to be able to go and look at the recording.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.